So listen, we're going to talk about a couple of rumors now. Okay,
Okay,
you ready for this?
cool.
There was a
I'm
rumor that Mike Evans is expected to command anywhere from 25 to 30 million dollars per year in free agency per the Houston Chronicle. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. Now, that has led some people to say, "Oh, Mike Evans isn't coming back. He ain't coming back." Blah 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 blah. What are your thoughts and opinions on that? 25 to 30 million dollars for Mike Evans per the Houston Chronicle. Do you believe that? I mean, Houston. I mean, that's Mike Evans' home turf.
yeah.
You
I
know,
think I think Mike Evans will be back. I think he would be worth. He deserves to be paid what the market dictates a top receiver to be paid. He is that. He's been the model of consistency. There are zero concerns, unlike with a lot of players. Mike Evans gives you zero concerns with anything off the field, anything in the locker room. There is zero. He is the model citizen. And on the field, his production speaks for itself. Right? He's never had a season under 1,000 yards. He's coming off of a fantastic year, and it was first year with a new quarterback. And I think it was really impressive to see the chemistry that Baker Mayfield and Mike Evans developed rapidly. That's hard to do. I think some people underestimate. It's not the easiest thing to build chemistry with a receiver. Some people click instantly, some people don't. And it's hard to, if you don't, it's hard to get it. You really have to work at it. And Baker Mayfield and Mike Evans clicked very quickly. I think it was the second. Mike Evans scored a touchdown, I know, in the first game of the season, but I think the second game of the season, Mike Evans had a monster day. It's either the second or third game of the season. Mike Evans had like 100 plus yards, monster day. I just think the Buccaneers would be foolish not to shell out the money. I think it would be a stain on Jason Light's. It would be a stain on his resume as a Bucs general manager to not bring back easily the best offensive player the Buccaneers have had, really the probably the best or second best player they have had in over a decade, in a very long time. So yes, I think Mike Evans is worth that. I think he should be back. I don't think Mike Evans is a guy who's going to go just to the highest bidder. As long as money is comparable, I think he'll pick the situation that suits him best. I could see him going to a team like Houston, because it is his hometown. They have a quarterback also that can certainly get him the football. Mike Evans is not going to go to a team. We could book it now. He's not going to go to a team without a quarterback, right? I know Mike Evans he's not a like out in front about himself guy, but Mike Evans is chasing history. He's not going to go to a team that doesn't have someone who can help him get to history. He needs 1,000 yards next season. So he's got to go to a team with a quarterback. So he's not just going to go to a team that has a lot of money and writes a big check. And the Buccaneers getting back Baker Mayfield, this is a big part of why I think that is so important for the return of Mike Evans. Mike Evans gets along with, likes, and has great chemistry with Baker Mayfield, and that matters a ton. Even if you don't think Baker Mayfield's a great quarterback, a franchise quarterback, that's fine. Mike Evans knows I can work with this guy and we can get good results. Look what we just did. That was our first year together. You would think the arrow is going to point upward, it's only going to get better. So I think there are options for Mike Evans to leave, but I don't think he's torn or pulled towards those options unless the Buccaneers really like lowball him.
I was looking at some of the numbers. I was looking at Spot Track's market value. They have it at 23.8. And I see that and I think he's probably going to get 25 to 30. And is that the right thing? Well, let's take a look. Stephon Diggs' average salary is 24 million per year. Cooper Kupp is 26.7. Tyreek Hill is at 30. Devontae Adams is at 28. So Mike Evans would be somewhere in that mix.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, it is justifiable whenever you compare it to other contracts and given Mike Evans' frame of work, right?
Yeah.
It is comparable, 100% comparable. So whenever the number, and I know that that's like a scary number, right? You hear 25 to 30 million for a wide receiver, and it's like, oh man, you know, that's like paying a quarterback. But I mean, Mike Evans has shown that he is far and away the best player on this offense year in and year out. I mean, now obviously you have Tristan Wirfs in that mix as well, but Mike Evans has also proven that, like, yeah, kind of deserves to be paid like a quarterback because it doesn't matter who's in there at quarterback most of the
Yeah.
time. He's gonna serve. He's gonna thrive. You know, I mean, this guy has caught touchdown passes from Josh McCown, Mike Glennon, Jameis Winston, Tom Brady, Ryan Fitzpatrick, now Baker Mayfield. I mean, this guy's been all over the map in terms of quarterback play and levels of quarterback play. He's the most consistent dude in the game right now. So I mean, to say to agree with the number that rumor is talking about, ultimately, is that going to be what he's going to get? We'll have to wait and see. No. Today's a day of definitive takes. I believe he will get around 25 to 30 million dollars. I think he will. He's going to, and I think the Buccaneers are going to pay that, and I think he is going to be back. That's 100%, 100%er on that one, Billy. 100% on both.
Yeah, Mike Evans, a big part. There's a lot of things that go into play. Really, just there's a lot of different facets. Um, we just talked about. I just talked about kind of the quarterback thing. Like he's not going to go to a team that writes a big check but doesn't have a quarterback, right? Like the Washington Commanders could approach Mike Evans with a really large contract, but they don't have. It doesn't make sense for him, right? He's not a foolish athlete who's just going to chase money. And the other thing is you may not want to, your number one priority may not be to win a Super Bowl, but Mike Evans has done a lot of losing. And he doesn't necessarily want to be on a losing, you're not going to want to be on a losing team, right? You want to at least be on a team where, yeah, like if you go to the Chiefs, you can make no money, but there's a pretty good chance we're going to the Super Bowl. So it's like, okay, yeah, that makes sense, right? But if you're on at least, and I mentioned the Texans or the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, you can at least feel like, well, we're in the mix. We have an opportunity. Yes, we're not necessarily the favorites, but look what we could do, and I think that that's important. That's why I think the Buccaneers getting to the playoffs this year, winning a playoff game is so crucial for the culture moving forward with re-signing guys because it's a winning environment. It feels like, look, if we go there, again, are we Super Bowl favorites if I become a part of this franchise? No, maybe not, but are we going to be 5-11 and miserable from Thanksgiving onward because we're losing every week? No. And I think that that's important. Football is a hard game to play when you're losing every week and just getting run through by other teams. That's not fun. So I think winning matters. I think the quarterback matters. And I just think as long as the money is relatively comparable, I think Mike Evans will be a Tampa Bay Buccaneer for the remainder of his days. I also people forget Mike Evans when the Bucs, and this is kind of like you're in the moment when he said this, but when the Buccaneers had their Super Bowl parade, Mike Evans talked about taking less money to keep guys around, which while I don't not saying that now he would take less money to keep people around, I'm just saying his focus then was not financial gain exclusively. It was there was a bigger picture and a bigger scope of in his thought process, and I doubt that in 3 years he's become, I think his scope has not shrunk and narrowed. I think he still has a big picture concept and view of the world.
So we'll see. I mean, we are going to see whenever he gets 25 to 30
Yeah,
million dollars and comes back to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
that's the MrBucsNation guarantee.
Yeah, like I said, we're rattling off 100 percenters today. We're rattling off, the definitive take. So yeah, I agree with the rumor. I believe the rumor, I suppose, and I think it's I think it's very, I think it's going to happen. 25 to 30 million dollars. Mike Evans coming back.
Can I hit you with a rumor on Mike Evans? I don't want to harp on Mike Evans, but just a quick yes or no. How's that?
Yeah, we can do
I
that.
keep seeing a lot of rumors that Mike Evans is going to be a New York Jet next
Nope.
year.
Nope. No. No. Nope. Not happening. Sayonara. Not happening.
Even if he,
We're nipping
even
that
if,
one right in the bud.
even if Evans isn't a Buck,
No.
Jets, yes or no?
No.
I
Hard no.
agree.
Hard no.
I agree.
So yeah, there you go. Can't wait for Mike Evans to come back. 25 to 30 million dollars. Guess what, folks? He deserves it. So it's a beautiful